November 1988. Sacramento, California. The scent of freshly turned earth filled the air as police began digging in the backyard of a boarding house at 1426 F Street. Within 30 minutes, they uncovered the first body, then another, and another. Dorothea Puente, 59, a grandmother who baked cookies for neighbors and hosted charity events. What lay beneath her garden would expose one of the most chilling serial murder cases in American history. Welcome to Shattered Crime, where we uncover the darkest truths hidden behind ordinary faces. Today, we explore California's most notorious female criminals, from serial killers to cult members, from death house landladies to Manson family followers. These are the true stories of women who crossed the ultimate line. From poisoning the elderly to participating in massacre, each case reveals how far someone will go when greed, madness, or devotion takes control. First case. Dorothea Helen Puente, 59 years old. Sacramento County, California. The boarding house at 1426 F Street looked respectable. Dorothea Puente, a kindly grandmother with white hair and floral dresses, operated a home for the elderly, mentally disabled, and homeless. She baked cookies. She donated to charities. She helped tenants obtain Social Security benefits. Dorothea was born January 9, 1929, in Redlands, California, into dysfunction and tragedy. Both parents were alcoholics. Her father died of tuberculosis when she was 8. Her mother, a sex worker, lost custody and died in a motorcycle accident. Dorothea and her siblings were placed in an orphanage where she was sexually abused. She grew into a pathological liar who used multiple aliases: Thea Nayarda, Sharon Johansson, Donna Johansson, and married repeatedly. By adulthood, she'd been arrested for forgery, running a prostitution front, and illegally cashing tenants' checks. Between 1982 and 1988, Dorothea Puente systematically murdered vulnerable tenants. She targeted the elderly, alcoholics, and mentally disabled, people no one would miss. She drugged them with sedatives, antidepressants, and antipsychotics until they died from overdose or respiratory failure. Then she wrapped their bodies in plastic and bed sheets and buried them in shallow graves beneath her garden, under concrete slabs beneath a gazebo. After killing them, she forged signatures, cashed their benefit checks, and sent fake letters to relatives pretending the victims were alive. Confirmed victims included Ruth Monroe, 61, Everson Gilmouth, 77, found in a storage box dumped near a river, Betty Mae Palmer, 78, dismembered, Leona Carpenter, 78, James Gallup, 62, Vera Faye Martin, 61, Dorothy Miller, 65, Alvaro Montoya, 51, and Benjamin Fink, 55. At least 9 people murdered for Social Security checks. November 1988. A social worker became suspicious about tenant Alvaro Montoya's disappearance. Officers searched the property and began digging. Within 30 minutes, they uncovered the first body. November 16, 1988. Dorothea Puente was arrested in Los Angeles, where she'd been living under the alias Donna Johansson. She was recognized after appearing on a TV news broadcast. Her trial began February 9, 1993, featuring over 150 witnesses, 3,100 exhibits, and 22,000 pages of transcripts. The jury convicted her of 3 murders: Benjamin Fink, Leona Carpenter, and Dorothy Miller, but deadlocked on 6 other charges. The death penalty was avoided due to the deadlock. She died in prison on March 27, 2011, at age 82 from natural causes at the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla. She never admitted guilt. The kindly grandmother who baked cookies had been a predator who buried her victims beneath flowers. Second case. Susan Denise Atkins, 21 years old. Los Angeles County, California. August 8, 1969. The summer of love had curdled into something dark. Susan Atkins, known as Sadie within the Manson family, climbed into a car with 3 others and drove to 150 Cielo Drive. What happened that night? The brutal murder of pregnant actress Sharon Tate and 4 others would become one of the most infamous crimes in American history. Susan was born May 7, 1948, in San Gabriel, California. Her childhood was marked by trauma: an alcoholic mother who died of cancer when Susan was 15, a father who abandoned her and her siblings. Once a shy church choir member, Susan descended into stripping and drug use by her late teens. In 1967, she met Charles Manson. She believed he was Jesus Christ. July 1969. Susan participated in the murder of musician Gary Hinman, who was beaten, held hostage for 2 days, and stabbed to death. Political Piggy was written in blood to frame the Black Panthers. But the Tate murders were worse. On August 8th, Susan entered the home with Charles Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian. Susan helped restrain victims, stabbed Frykowski, and held Sharon Tate while she was stabbed 16 times. Later, she wrote "Piggy" in Tate's blood on the door. The following night, she participated in the murders of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. Messages were written in blood. Susan Atkins was initially arrested on unrelated charges. While jailed, she confessed in graphic detail to fellow inmates Virginia Graham and Ronnie Howard, describing her role in the Tate murders with disturbing pride. These jailhouse confessions led police to reopen the case and resulted in the arrest of other Manson family members. The trial began June 15, 1970. Susan Atkins, Charles Manson, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten sat together. They mocked victims, sang in court, and showed no remorse. In 1972, the California Supreme Court invalidated all pre-1972 death sentences. Atkins's sentence was commuted to life imprisonment. Over 30 years, she was repeatedly denied parole. She claimed religious conversion in prison and married twice while incarcerated. In 2008, she was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Susan Atkins died on September 24, 2009, in prison custody at age 61. At the time of her death, she was California's longest-serving female inmate. Sharon Tate's unborn son never took a breath, a cult follower who helped slaughter the innocent. Third case. Patricia Dianne Krenwinkel, 22 years old. Los Angeles County, California. Patricia Krenwinkel was once a shy, insecure young woman bullied in school for an endocrine condition that caused excessive body hair. She briefly considered religious life and attended Spring Hill College before dropping out. Then, in 1967, she met Charles Manson. She left her apartment, her job, and her belongings to follow him. Patricia was born December 3, 1947, in Los Angeles to an insurance salesman and a homemaker. Her parents divorced, and she lived with her father until graduation. She struggled with self-esteem and sought belonging. Manson provided that, or so she believed. She toured the American West with the Manson family, participating in drug use, communal sex, and unquestioning devotion to Manson. She was loyal. She was obedient. August 9, 1969. Patricia participated in the murders at 150 Cielo Drive. Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent. The following night, August 10th, she participated in the murders of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. Patricia stabbed and bludgeoned victims under Manson's instructions. On August 16, 1969, Patricia and other family members were arrested for unrelated auto theft, but later released due to a warrant error. She was formally arrested near her aunt's home in Mobile, Alabama, on December 1, 1969, following confessions from Susan Atkins. The trial lasted 9 months. Patricia maintained loyalty to Manson, shaving her head with other female followers and carving an X on her forehead. She sat motionless through testimony. On March 29, 1971, she was convicted of all counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The California Supreme Court's decision in People v. Anderson commuted her death sentence to life imprisonment. Patricia Krenwinkel remains incarcerated at the California Institution for Women in Chino. She has been denied parole multiple times. Patricia has maintained a perfect prison record for over 50 years. She earned a bachelor's degree in human services, participates in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and literacy programs. She has expressed remorse for her victims, particularly Abigail Folger. Patricia Krenwinkel is now the longest incarcerated female inmate in California. She was 22 when arrested. She's now 77. One Manson woman still behind bars, but another was paroled after decades. Fourth case. Leslie Louise Van Houten, 19 years old. Los Angeles County, California. Leslie Van Houten grew up in a middle-class home in Altadena, California. Born August 23, 1949, she was the daughter of Paul Van Houten and Jane Edwards. Her childhood seemed normal until her parents divorced when she was 14. She experimented with marijuana and LSD, ran away briefly, but still graduated high school in 1967. She was interested in yoga, the hippie lifestyle, and commune living. Leslie experienced a traumatic abortion as a teenager, which left her angry at her mother and emotionally adrift. She joined the Manson family seeking belonging and purpose. She adopted aliases: Luella Alexandria, Leslie Marie Sankston, Linda Sue Owens, Lulu. She believed Manson's apocalyptic visions. Leslie did not participate in the Tate murders the night before, but on August 10th, she joined the group that invaded the home of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. Leslie held down Rosemary while Tex Watson stabbed Leno in another room. Then she stabbed Rosemary at least 14 times. Leslie was arrested shortly after the LaBianca murders as part of the Manson family roundup. She confessed and testified about her role, implicating herself in the stabbings. The investigation tied the crime to Manson's family cult network. Leslie Van Houten was convicted in 1971 of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. At 22, she became the youngest woman on California's death row. Her death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment after the 1972 California Supreme Court ruling. Over 20 parole hearings were denied. Victim families remained critical of her release. But in July 2023, after serving over 52 years in prison, Leslie Van Houten was granted parole. Governor Gavin Newsom's attempts to block her release were overturned by the courts. Leslie is now 75 years old. She has spent more than half a century behind bars for crimes committed when she was a teenager under the influence of one of history's most notorious cult leaders. Some say justice required her release. A teenager manipulated into murder, now free after 52 years. Fifth case. Lynette Alice Fromme, 26 years old. Sacramento, Sacramento County, California. September 5, 1975. President Gerald Ford walked through Capitol Park in Sacramento, greeting the crowd. .45 semi-automatic pistol at the president, and pulled the trigger. The gun didn't fire. The chamber was empty. Secret Service agent Larry Buendorf immediately restrained her. The woman was Lynette "Squeaky" Fromme, devoted follower of Charles Manson. Lynette was born October 22, 1948, in Santa Monica, California, to an aeronautical engineer father and homemaker mother. As a child, she performed with a dance troupe and appeared on The Lawrence Welk Show and at the White House. But her adolescence brought depression, drug use, and poor grades. Her family moved to Redondo Beach. She briefly attended El Camino College before being kicked out of her house. At age 19, in 1967, Squeaky met Charles Manson. She joined the Manson family, lived at Spahn Ranch and Barker Ranch, and was nicknamed Squeaky by George Spahn. She wasn't involved in the Tate LaBianca murders, but remained fiercely loyal to Manson. In 1972, she traveled to Stockton with Aryan Brotherhood members and Manson associates. Two people, James and Lauren Willett, were killed by others in the group. By 1975, Squeaky had become obsessed with environmental activism and Manson's A2A, Air Trees Water Animals, movement. She believed corporate executives were destroying the planet. When President Ford visited Sacramento, she saw an opportunity to make a statement. She loaded her pistol, wore a red robe, and approached the president. She pointed the gun at Ford, but the chamber was empty. Later, she said, "It wouldn't go off." It didn't go off. Squeaky was apprehended immediately by Secret Service. Investigators found a round deliberately removed from her pistol's chamber. At trial, she refused to cooperate with her defense and claimed she did not intend to kill the president. Squeaky Fromme was convicted of attempted assassination of the President of the United States and sentenced to life imprisonment under federal law. In 1987, she escaped from prison to attempt meeting Manson, but was recaptured. Squeaky relocated to upstate New York, where she lived quietly. In 2018, she published a memoir, Reflection, detailing her time with Manson. She remained devoted to him until his death in 2017, an assassination attempt that failed. Sixth case. Linda Darlene Kasabian, 20 years old. Los Angeles, Los Angeles County, California. Linda Kasabian was different from the other Manson women. She didn't carve an X into her forehead. She didn't laugh in court. She didn't remain loyal to Charles Manson. Instead, she became the prosecution's key witness, the woman whose testimony sent Manson and his followers to prison. And for that, she was granted immunity. Linda was born June 21, 1949, in Biddeford, Maine, and raised in Milford, New Hampshire. She was the eldest child in a working-class, fractured family. Her father left early. Her mother remarried. She dropped out of high school at 16, married young, divorced, and traveled to the West Coast seeking purpose. In the summer of 1969, Linda met Catherine Scher and joined the Spahn Ranch commune. She became sexually involved with Tex Watson and accepted Manson's influence. She participated in creepy crawls, stealing money for the family. On August 8, 1969, she was tasked by Manson to accompany Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, and Patricia Krenwinkel to 150 Cielo Drive. Linda served as driver and lookout. She did not enter the house, but she witnessed the murders of Stephen Parent, Jay Sebring, Wojciech Frykowski, Abigail Folger, and Sharon Tate. The following night, Linda drove the group to the LaBianca residence. Again, she served as lookout. She witnessed the murders of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. In December 1969, Linda turned herself in to New Hampshire authorities. She was offered immunity in exchange for truthful testimony. She became the chief witness for the prosecution, providing vivid, emotional, detailed accounts of events. Family members attempted intimidation. Manson disrupted her testimony with theatrics. Linda Kasabian's testimony was critical in securing convictions of Charles Manson, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten. She was never prosecuted. After the trial, Linda lived quietly in Tacoma, Washington, under the surname Kiochios. She rarely appeared in public. In 1988, she gave an interview on a current affair. She appeared in the 2009 documentary Manson. But mostly, she stayed out of the spotlight, haunted by what she witnessed. Linda Kasabian died on January 21, 2023, at age 73 in Tacoma, Washington. She was the Manson family member who chose conscience over loyalty. She helped bring killers to justice. But she carried the weight of those 2 nights for the rest of her life.